plastic manufacturers, they produce only a small percentage, a relatively small percentage of plastic that are used in Ghana. And there is no plastic that is entirely biodegradable. What EPA did was to certify additives. So you add to the plastic as you're manufacturing, during the manufacturing process. And this additive makes it also biodegradable. That is, in the presence of light and so on, it disintegrates into bits and pieces, but it doesn't disappear. So the plastic, the oxo biodegradation will break the plastics into tiny bits. You may not see it in the soil, but when it rains, it may enter water bodies, eventually into the sea, and serve as food for planktons and small fish. And eventually, it will bioaccumulate and come back to us. So the point is that there's, as far as I know, there's no plastic that will disappear, cease to become plastic, and then become some carbon or some water or something. So that's the way it is. Now, if we say that we are not, we use a certain word, that we can't, discipline, attitude, and so on. Yes. Yes. That attitude will make a ban impossible. Because what happens? You announce one day that you ban plastics. Even in Rwanda, where they say they ban plastics, there's active smuggling of plastics from DR Congo and Tanzania into Rwanda. Kenya has banned plastics. But when we were there in March, we were told that they have at least 50 exemptions. Because people making bread will come and say, okay, we are baking bread, the bread will get wet, fries will settle on it, so allow us to use plastics. And then other people will come. So in the end, you have exemptions everywhere. So what happens if people start smuggling plastic from our neighboring countries, porous borders into Ghana? How, with that attitude, how are you going to manage it? So we have to find a way of making sure that we manage the plastics so that it will not have effect on our health, our industry, and job creation. And that is why we think that we have to adopt the circular economy. Because right now, as I said, there are Ghanaian companies that are using the plastic to make fuel, plastic to make pavement stones, plastics to many other things. I know a company in Pram Pram that is also using tires to make fuel. So we are trying to encourage this plastic economy as we educate ourselves so that if we're able to dispose of the plastic well, we have segregation at source. We're able to collect the plastic, transport it to somewhere that it can be utilized. That will help our industry, it will help our health and so on. At the same time, I'm not saying that we shouldn't buy anything. At the same time, things that you don't need, things that will not affect your economy now, can be banned. I mentioned plastic carrier bags. If you are going to a shopping center to buy bread or provisions, you can use cotton bag. I have about 10 of them. If you are going to, you don't need, if you are going to drink water or some soft drink, you use the original instrument that God gave you. You don't need a straw. If plastic cutlery, you don't need it. If you are going to buy wache, take a bowl from home or use the leaves. You know, so these are the things that we have to educate ourselves to start using. Not to say, ban it when you know we cannot ban it, Ghanaians will not comply, and so on. I'm not saying that because they will not comply, we shouldn't ban. That is why we have the Resource Recovery Center, where the policy will not be cast in iron that you can't change it. We'll leave room as we go along, as we find substitutes. Now, for example, the black polythene bag that you're afraid of. We are thinking that, for example, if we can get bamboo and cut it into bits with the base where the joints are intact, we may be able to use that to nest seedlings. So if we're able to educate ourselves, get this thing going, and people accept the industry, then maybe you can find bamboo to nurse seedlings, and we can do away. Then we can say that we don't want to see this plastics in agriculture. But once you haven't found it, it will be difficult. So the Resource Recovery Center will be thinking about how to find replacement for all the plastic that we use. And then it will not be a policy cast an iron that you cannot do anything and so on. I hope you are beginning to appreciate what I call the circular economy. See, our problem now is to something to hold water. If somebody wants to bottle water, what do we use? If somebody is going to the market to buy some oil, cooking oil, fried oil, and something, small quantity, what do we use? Now, if we're able to find substitutes for this thing, then we'll start banning those plastics. That's how we want to approach it.